Hello, Kyleen Sherwood here, and I'm excited to talk to you today about recruiting. I prefer to call it team building because recruiting sounds kind of impersonal, and I like the idea of building something together with people. And usually when I do trainings on specific topics like this, I'm a doer, like I'm an action person, so I would usually give you like a 3-step process to recruiting or 5 ways to make recruiting easier. And I like to give specific things and tasks that you can do because that's just the type of person I am. But I think I want to do it a little differently today and maybe get a little more personal with it. I think that others and myself in the past have shared some really good practical things that you can do. So I want to talk about a whole different element of it this time, which is more of the mindset of recruiting. I think sometimes, maybe because it's kind of an overwhelming thing to think about, let alone do, recruiting that is, it almost makes it easier if we feel like we have a step-by-step how-to. Okay, here's the first step, here's the second step, here's what I do next. Okay, we've moved on to follow-up, so here's what I do then. And those are all really great, amazing tools to use, but I also think it's super important to be thinking about what's going on internally for you and for the person that you're talking to about joining your opportunity, your business, your company. Instead of getting so hung up on, am I doing step 1 correctly? Have I done this? Have I hit everything on that checklist? Is my recruiting packet perfect? You know, all of those things that of course have a very important place in team building. I think sometimes it gets neglected or just not thought about as much, that so much of it is mindset. So much of it happens inside your own mind before it ever even comes out into action, and things like putting together a tangible tool to hand to somebody, like a recruiting packet, or making that follow-up phone call, or inviting them to an opportunity night or event. I want to take a minute to think about what we're thinking about in our minds throughout this whole process. I know for me, I'm an introvert. I am a stay-at-home homeschool mom. I am disabled, so I don't get out of the house very often. So the idea of recruiting was terrifying to me. It's not something that comes naturally to me to just go and invite someone to come do what I'm doing, which is where the mindset piece comes in. Because honestly, if you know 1,000 people, but your mindset is in a weird place, the odds of you signing on those 1,000 people are pretty slim. And on the flip side, if you only have a small core circle of people in your life, but you have the mindset and like that approach in the right manner, sky's the limit for you as far as how quickly you can grow your team. So mindset, that's what I really want to talk about, having a recruiting mindset. And really, recruiting mindset, to me, interchange that recruiting word with a different R word, and that's relationship. Relationship mindset. That is the key, honestly, to sales and to team building. The same skill set and the same mindset is involved with both of those, which is interesting because typically, and I'm sure if you looked at other people on your team, you'd see that this is probably true. Typically, you're very strong in one area and weak in the other. So people who are very strong recruiters struggle to get their sales in, and the opposite. People who are very strong with sales struggle to get team members signed on. But what's fascinating about that is that it's the same skill set, the same mindset, the same actions are going to yield both of those results if done properly. Now, I do have blog posts and training videos on my system and my steps to team building, but I think that mindset is honestly what it comes down to. Relationships is what it comes down to. And I know it seems cliche, and I almost didn't do this focus on this video because I know we've probably heard it 1,000 times at least, that relationships are everything. We have to build relationships. Yes, So how do we do that? I think it's almost untraining or unteaching ourselves, for those of us like me who are hungry for knowledge and want to soak in all of the training and videos and books and podcasts and YouTube videos, like anything I can get my hands on a topic, I want to absorb it all. But it's almost an untraining and undoing of all of that and getting back to the heart of it, which is, why do you do this? What started you on this in the first place? Reconnect with that and use that to connect with people in a real, meaningful, genuine kind of way. People don't want to join a company or a business. They want to join you. They want to join a person, a cause, a mission. So identify who you are, become very strong in that, and then work really intentionally on building relationships with the people around you with no agenda. So that is what I really want to point out here. Don't build relationships just to open the door to recruit someone down the road. No, like people can feel that. You can feel that when someone sends you a random private message after they haven't talked to you in forever, and you can tell that it's just salesy, like, hey, how's it going? So I joined XYZ company and I think you'd be great at it. I'd love to send you some information. That's just gross. Nobody likes that. So just get intentional about building relationships with people and then maintaining them. It's a lot like gardening or farming, and I use that metaphor a lot with my team, with teamWISH. I love that metaphor because it's so true. When you're planting a garden, it's a process and it's a mindset. If you are impatient and want those things to sprout right away, it'll get very frustrating. You might end up giving up, or you might end up trying to rush along a process that just can't be rushed. So think of it more like gardening versus hunting. If you're hunting people, they're running from you because prey runs from the hunter. Don't be a hunter. Be a gardener. Be out there lovingly nurturing those plants, getting to know what kind of plants you've put in there so that when they do begin to sprout and flourish, you know how to maintain them, you know how to care for them. You know whether or not it's a good time to add more water or to step back and give them some sunlight. You know how to harvest them when it's time, when they start to show interest in what you're doing. You know the best way then to move forward with approaching them about taking that next step. That can only happen really effectively if you know your people, if you're in relationship with them. And relationship is two ways. You have to get to know them, they have to get to know you, they have to trust you, they have to know that you're a present part of their lives, even when you're not trying to get something from them. So I almost want to throw out all of the rules about recruiting. Don't think about the systems of recruiting. Start here. Start internally, because what's inside is what's going to flow out. And we want what flows out to be real and genuine and authentic. And when you do that, it's the law of attraction. People will start to come to you. You don't have to go out there and try to prospect everyone in your life that you've ever met. When you're radiating something from inside that is welcoming and loving and nurturing and relatable, people are going to be attracted to that and attracted to you. It takes all of the stress and fear and that feeling of overwhelm, it takes that away, and it just lets you get back to the heart of why we do this and why this kind of a business is so effective and so successful. It's because it's about relationships. As human beings, we are innately driven to relationship. So stop thinking about the checklists and what you need to do and if your recruiting packets are perfectly beautiful, and get back internally into the right mindset. Connect with people with no agenda. Connect with people just because they're amazing people, and it's great to have new, diverse relationships in your life. So remember, relationship mindset is the key to recruiting. All right, I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Now get out there and change that mindset and start making some real, solid, genuine relationships.